All right, so I'm just going to run through another one of these finding the equation of a tangent questions, because just getting the work in, there's kind of three places where people are making little mistakes, and then one in particular, which is giving people a lot of trouble, or just kind of people are making the same mistake again and again. So just going to want to iron it out now. So let's say I'm asked to find the equation of this tangent here. Okay, so it's a tangent to this circle at the point 1, 2, and here's the equation of that circle. Okay. So to get the equation of a tangent, to get the equation of a line, you need the slope of the line and you need a point on the line. All right, I don't have enough information to get the slope of this tangent using the slope formula, but what I can do is get the center of this circle from the equation, then get the slope of this radius, and then the slope of a tangent is always perpendicular to the slope of the radius. So the tangent is perpendicular to the radius, so you can do that flip and change the sign trick to get the slope of the other once you have the slope of one. So first thing people are doing wrong here is just forgetting something from finding the center of a circle. So if the equation of this circle is x plus 3 squared, y minus 5 squared, then the center of that circle is minus 3 plus 5. Okay, so you need to change the signs of what's in those brackets. So people were absolutely going to those brackets correctly, but a good few people were saying the center is 3 minus 5. So you need to change those signs. So it is minus 3 plus 5. Okay, it's because on page 19 in the log tables where you find that formula, you see here it says the center is hk, so plus h plus k, but what's in this bracket is minus h minus k. So you need to change the sign from what is in the bracket to get the center. All right, so minus 3, 5 in this case. So next thing to do then is to get the slope of the radius. So slope is y2 minus y1. Everyone's getting on all right with this. So y2 minus y1, so let's say I will go for, yeah, I'll call this x1, y1, I'll call this x2, y2. All right, so y2 minus y1, 5 minus 2 on top. x2 minus x1 minus 3 minus 1. Okay, so that's equal to 5 minus 2 is 3, minus 3 minus 1 is minus 4. Okay, so that is the slope of your radius. All right. To get the slope of your tangent, you now need to flip this and change the sign. Okay, so a few people just subbing this into the equation of the line formula, and they were doing the question perfectly other than this. Okay, so this is the slope of the radius. I want the slope of the equation of the perpendicular line. Okay, so that's the slope of the radius. So to get the slope of the perpendicular line, you flip this, so it goes from being 3 over 4 to 4 over 3, and then 3 over minus 4, it means the same thing as minus 3 over 4. It means the same thing as minus 3 over 4 with the sign out front. So in a fraction like this, as long as there's only one minus, it doesn't really matter where it is, if it's on the number on the bottom, the top, or out in front. It all means the same thing. It means that this is negative 3 over 4. So if you're changing the sign, you will end up with positive and 4 over 3 because you're flipping it. All right, so that's the equation that needs to go into the equation of the line formula. Okay, so that equation of the line formula then is y minus y1 equals m on x minus x1, and y minus y1. Yeah, this the other thing here is when you're subbing into this formula here, you're getting the equation of the tangent. So it's this point out here which goes into the formula. Okay, so you don't put the center, the minus 3, 5 into this formula. You're getting the equation of this tangent line So you're looking for the point where the tangent touches the circle. So the 1, 2. So I'm going to go y minus 2 equals m. So the slope is 4 over 3 on x minus 1. I would say if you are stopping there, you are getting the vast majority of the marks for this question. They might want you just to tidy it up a little bit, so multiply it out. I would say the most common way they will ask you for this is they want everything on one side equal to 0. So you want to multiply it out and get rid of any fractions. But if you're getting here, you're getting the vast majority of marks. But just y minus 2 equals 4 over 3 by x is 4 over 3x. 4 over 3 by minus 1 is 4 over 3. If you want to get rid of any fractions now, I would multiply across by 3. Everything by 3. So y by 3 is 3y. Minus 2 by 3 is minus 6. On the other side, 4 over 3 by 3 is 4. So that's 4x minus 4 over 3 by 3 is just 4. Now get everything over to one side. I'm going to move everything over to the left-hand side here. So I'm going to bring 4x over and it becomes minus 4x. I've got plus 3y there. If I bring minus 4 over, it becomes plus 4. 4 minus 6 is minus 2. And equal to 0. And there's the equation of your tangent. Okay, so minus 4x plus 3y minus 2 equals 0. Just a quick note on the solutions in the book. The book tends to write them with the x positive. So what they would do is they would basically move everything over to the other side to make sure the x is positive. So they'll change all the signs. So if that solution's in the book, it will be written as plus 4x minus 3y plus 2 equals 0. Okay, so if you have the same answer as the book, but all of your signs are different, you have the correct answer. Okay, it is perfectly fine to write it like this. And the book, as I said, just has a preference for writing the x as positive, so it always does that just to be consistent, to do the same thing. Okay, so just that's kind of all the little mistakes I pointed out there. The major one people are making, I would say, is getting that slope of the tangent. Okay, so just to go through a few of those, the one we had here, or let's say a different one here. If the slope of the radius is say 2 over 3, then the slope of your tangent, the one that would need to go into the equation of the line formula, would be flip it upside down and change the sign. So plus 2 over 3 would become minus 3 over 2. All right. If you get a slope of, say, 5 over 5, you'd flip it upside down. So that's 5 over 5, and then change the sign. So minus 5 over 5. And then if it's something like that, 5 divided by 5 is 1, you can just rewrite that as minus 1. Okay, so if they do divide and become a whole number, by all means divide them. All right. Like let's say if you got the equation of, the slope of your radius. So the first thing you get, let's say, is minus 1 over 7. Well, then flipping that would be 7 over 1, and changing the sign would be plus 7 over 1. And 7 over 1 is just 7. Okay. If this was written as 1 over minus 7, if you happen to get this out of the radius, or out of the slope formula, this just means the same thing as this. So 1 over minus 7, the slope of a perpendicular line to that would be flip it, 7 over 1, and change the sign. So plus 7 over 1, which is 7. Okay, so just be careful with that. You are both flipping it upside down and changing the sign. If it's something like 7 over 1, by all means write it as 7. If it's something like 8 over 2, by all means divide it and write it as 4. Okay, so if it divides and gives you a whole number, by all means divide it. And then, yeah, like that point, just that point again that I made. If there's just one minus, okay, so 3 over minus 4, that means the same thing as minus 3 over 4. It means the same thing as minus 3 over 4. Okay, just to run through one more, if you get the slope as being, say, minus 2 over minus 5. If you have a minus on top and bottom, so a minus divided by a minus, that's the same thing as a plus. Okay, so a minus on top and bottom means the slope will be 2 over 5. So if you're looking for the perpendicular line to that, you would flip it and get 5 over 2 and then change the sign. So minus 5 over 2. All right, so just be careful with that. Like I said, I think pretty much everyone kind of had the steps correct, but you're kind of making one or two mistakes within those steps. Okay, so look, if we're getting the steps right, that's the main thing. We'll get most of the marks then for kind of following all the steps which are correct, but we might as well just iron out these little mistakes that we're making while we can.